Alright folks, I think we're ready to start this next part off. Welcome back to Pokemon Fire Red Omega. Last time we finished off the Seafoam Islands, beat Articuno, did Route 19 and 20, or 20 and 21, I forget the name of these numbers of these routes. Anyways, Hannibal's looking pretty strong, and I think for now we're going to switch Frederick into the front because we need to get him above the 50 mark, but it's going to be tough because he's not going to have the advantage against all the upcoming Pokemon. But I think before we go to the Pokemon Mansion, we should hang out in the lab because there's a trade here, and obviously we can restore our fossils. So from this guy right here. So hello. Study rare fossils. I'll give him a Dome Fossil to give me Dome Fossil. And I need to go walk outside. But before I do that, there is a guy, I believe in this room, who is does a trade? No, we do not want Metronome. I'm not going to have fun with that this playthrough. Okay. I think we knew that already. Man. That doesn't make sense. I guess you could technically shortly after Celadon, if you go to, you get surf, you guess you could come here, but still. A Dawn fan for a milk tank. I think you can only catch like a low level fan piece, so you have to grind a little bit to be able to do that trade, and I don't think it's worth it because, oh wait, was it a Grand Bull for an Executor? That's also a bad trade because you can catch Execute in the Safari Zone, and you can catch Taurus in the Safari Zone, and I'm pretty sure somewhere in this game you can catch a Miltank. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go back, come back in. Alright, should be ready now. Hello? You're late, where were you? So now I got Kabuto. Not gonna use him on my team. Well, not yet. Not in this playthrough. Give him the old Amber. Obviously gives us Aerodactyl. So yeah, I like these Pokemon. I think the fossil Pokemon for the most part are interesting and have usefulness on a single player team. The only problem is the level that you get them at this point in the game. But knowing this guy, I think I know for a fact that he changed the Kabuto and Omanite levels to level 30 when they get resurrected. And we get Aerodactyl. And let's go to the PC and see what their levels are to see if maybe you want to try it in your playthrough. Because I don't think that they're going to be super effective. I don't mean that just like doing 2 times damage or whatever. But I mean, I don't think they're going to give you an advantage that you didn't have before at this point in the game moving forward. They've been great Pokemon to have earlier on, but anyways. So they are level 40. Wow. So you level up once and you have it evolved. I caught a lot of Pokemon. And that was only like in 30 minutes. Obviously I sped up, like I was using the speed up button a lot between parts, but in like 30 minutes I caught all those Pokemon. Even, I think even less time than that. Anyways, enough with that, resurrecting the fossils. It's time to move on to what's really our challenge in this part. It is the Pokemon Mansion, or what's left of it. And I'm not gonna put the repels up quite yet, even though it's gonna be a whole hell of a lot of encounters in here going forward. But there's also a good bit of trainers in here, so as always we are going to just grind it out. Okay, starting with a Spinda, so Frederick should have it easy here. So if you don't know much about the Pokemon Mansion, I think it was like a mansion that was used to do scientific experiments at one point. Pokemon Mewtwo and Mewtwo, or it was Mew and or Mewtwo, and eventually Mewtwo broke out of here, destroyed the mansion, and left. That's some of the story. Obviously, you you can go around and read the books they leave on a table. It will basically say that story in a little bit more depth, but I'm not going to really bother, obviously, because it's not like a story playthrough. I don't really care to do that. But I do want to talk about something that was on my mind this morning. Was the fact I was watching a video. Let me put the mic a little bit because I'm peeking. Sorry, excuse me. But I was watching a video from an old channel that I used to watch back in the day, like the Black Hokage. Wait a second, I don't want to press that card yet. Actually, I think I might want to. Okay, it's just the basic. I mean, it's probably you could find Magmar and stuff in here, but which is cool. And if not, you can't find it here. You can find it. We're gonna be in a place that has Magmar pretty soon. So don't worry about that if you really want to replace, like you want to get Magmar to get a fire type on your team at this point, but whatever. But anyways, I was watching a Black Hokage and he was talking, it was like a clip from a stream where he was talking about all these weird, like, apparently there's like a lot of stuff that came out in like May and July about like sex creeps in the gaming community, like pedophiles, people out here raping people, and you know, all these accusations coming out. And I found it like, God, like, I mean, it's good this is happening, but I just feel like, I don't know, it bothers me so much, obviously. But that's not the point. I'm not trying to, I don't have a commentary on that. It's fucked up that this is happening, but it's also good that it's coming to the light or whatever. So, you know, I have the same take as pretty much everyone else. What I found interesting, one of the things that he said, is that too many men are quick to dismiss the accusations of women, not because they're like because they just don't talk to women. It's like, not only like they have like the misogynist worldview. I mean, he didn't say it like this, but I'm saying this. But you also have it like, you don't have women that are friends. You only see women as like the sexual aspect of human beings, which, you know, it resonated with me. It's very, very relatable. Even though I've had friends that were girls in the past, but they were never like really good friends. But then again, like I had a bunch of guy friends who weren't really good friends. So I think, you know, I'm obviously not one of those people, but I think at one point I was becoming one of those people who only saw women as like my interaction with them would only be for be in a sexual relationship. But anyways, what he was getting to is that since you only see him in that light, and your quest to have sex with a woman, you're not going to like empathize with her as a person, because she's more than just that. You know, she has her own wants, desires, needs, all this, just like you do. And it's more than just sex in her life. Ooh, protein. Didn't notice that I picked that up. Damn it. Will you be able to use it? Nice. I guess that's bad that you don't have over 100 EVs in your fucking tag by now. And anyways, he went on to say is that you need to cultivate the empathy with the women in your life. Like you need to ask your sister, your mother, all your women in your family, what has been their experience with, like, if they got raped or molested before. You can't be like afraid to bring that up with them, because you got to be able to understand this is a thing that happens, or a thing that at least is threatened to them, or at times they might have felt uncomfortable. And that really, like, I never really thought to do that. Like, ask my mom that. I talk to her all the time, but I never thought to like ask her about stuff like that, because my base, I always assume with so many people around me that they're kind of okay. I have a lot of crazy people in my family, but I just assume like they're all well-meaning or whatever. But that's simply not the case for like so often. Like, I find myself thinking that I'm so detached from all the horrible stuff happening in the world, and honestly, as the years go on and on, I realize honestly that's not the case. Like, I'm much as part of this stuff as the global body politic as anyone else is, you know. But I feel like that is a sentiment that some people, like I had, and maybe some younger people have, is that I'm separate from this. But he compared it, Black Hokage brought this up using the example that he was that with the white people saying that I'm not racist, I don't do nothing racist, but why don't you, like, as a white person, you're still quiet about it? So you're not helping, you know. You're complicit. He said complacency, which was he didn't mean, he got his words jumbled. Did complacency and complicit together, but I like it. It's a good word, complicity, because that's exactly what you are. If you're quiet about it, in the case of like you're a person who benefits from the systemic racism, and you're just not doing anything about it, you're not even saying anything about it, that's not helpful, obviously. But if you're also around in environments, you have your head in the sand, where this stuff has happened to some degree, to some extent, to your family, to family members or whatever, and you never like empathize with that with someone else's experience, essentially. I'm not saying like every family has someone who got raped or something, or got pressured into doing something, or felt uncomfortable at some point. There's probably families out there that maybe, like, it's never been a deal. They lived like the perfect oppression free, as much as you could be free from oppression under capitalism life, you know. But still, you should have those conversations, and you should try to cultivate empathy, because when someone cries for help, your instinct shouldn't be you don't need it or no, anything like that. It should be the exact opposite. It's like, what do you need? What can I do for you? I'm here for you, and we're gonna make this right. We're gonna see some sort of justice, even though you can't fully recover. We're gonna help you, you know, try to move past it or whatever, instead of denying the fact that you need help, or even something is wrong with what happened to you in the first place, which is fucking horrible thing that happens. I'm not just talking about sexual stuff, sexual assault stuff. I mean, that goes for pretty much everything. You should always be in tune with the empathetic side. But that can also go the other way. Don't be a fucking rube, you know. Most people, when they say they need help, you should give it to them. But some people, when they out here saying they need help, or out here acting like they oppress, when they're the oppressors, fuck them. No, I have no empathy for I don't have empathy for everyone, you know. Only the people who need it. And you have to have a somewhat advanced level of consciousness and awareness to suss that out and do it accurately. And I'm not saying that I'm there, but I guess I'm saying that a little too early in the end to catch your grip. Like, if you're just coming, if you're having my, because what I'm really referring to people that don't need empathy is like how people use like the victimized, like the online victim language. They appropriate that and use that towards other things. And I think a good example of this, maybe I kind of not imperfect analogy, is when like someone did a blog talking about how their parents owned slaves, like Filipino slaves or something, and they wrote it as if they were a victim. Like, it sounds retarded. Like, what I'm saying, it sounds retarded, but that's pretty much how it came off as. Don't remember the person who wrote it, but all her readers pretty much said, "Oh, we feel for you," or whatever. It's so horrible that you had to go through this. I'm like, bitch, you had a slave. Like, it was awesome for you. You should just recognize that when you're a child, like, after you grow up, you realize, oh shit, slavery is like, really, that's not cool. And then you move past it. I mean, you can't control the fact that your parents own slaves, but you shouldn't act like you're a victim of it. I think that slave was more of a victim than you are, obviously. Anyways, we're gonna go downstairs here. Is where we need to go? Well, I think it's an item. HP up. But yeah, so that person does not deserve empathy, because to me, it sounded like you had a pretty good life. You had parents rich enough to afford a slave, and you had a slave. You know, I'm not saying slavery is good or whatever, obviously, but if you have, I mean, having slave would be nice. I mean, I don't know what I would do with a slave, because I really don't have much, like, I don't have land to till or like a big house to need to be clean or children to take care of. So I think this is the right way. I believe it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway because that door is open. But this one gives you the trainer. Oh, you can skip them anyways. But yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. I just trying to become more empathetic, and I don't really have a lot of opportunities to be empathetic right now. Like, 'cause I don't do a lot of online posting outside of YouTube. I do absolutely none outside of YouTube. And obviously, I'm not a big YouTuber, and I don't really talk about cultural issues that much, or stuff that happen like in current events anymore. Even within gaming, I don't talk about that. I stopped doing that when I stopped doing the GTO podcast, really. So yeah. But like, I just can't wait for this quarantine to be over, because I just want to go back out there, man. I just want to be with the people again. And you could say I could be with the people if I really wanted to. Oh fuck, wrong Pokemon. Well, I know Psychic, but it's still over leveled, obviously. But I had some goals this year. I forget exactly what they were, but you know, obviously my goal was to like upload a bunch of videos. I'm gonna end up uploading a bunch of videos. Like, I'm probably gonna end up uploading almost 200 videos this year. But obviously, it didn't go the way I wanted to. I didn't upload for like half the year, pretty much. But I'll get a lot of stuff done. But the other thing that I really wanted to do was get a long-term, like, serious sexual relationship. And obviously, I mean, I had basically 2.5 months to do that before. I mean, I guess technically I could still do it through Tinder while I'm here, but it's just not. I don't think it's worth the trouble. Tinder gives me anxiety. You get that. And I just don't, for me, as a person who's not like drop dead gorgeous as a man, you know, you're not gonna get that high frequency of swipes, you know. I mean, I guess I got a good amount of likes on Tinder, but it wasn't from the woman that like type of woman that I'm attracted to. I mean, I did get a few that I was attracted to when I talked to them, but we never ended up meeting up for whatever reason, which is unfortunate. Let's see here. I mean, I guess I kind of only have one option, huh? Okay, I'm gonna use my max potion here if I survive this. Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's something that I really can't pursue. And even though right now technically my school is planning on coming back in August, which is ridiculous, there is like a talk within the next 2 weeks. We'll make a decision on if like we're really gonna come back. And I hope, for the safety of all of us, I hope we don't come back, because we're simply not ready yet. There's gonna be so many people, like, you will know, they always tell us in all their pamphlets and shit, talking about, oh, we're one of the most diverse colleges in the country. We got people from like 100 different countries coming here, even though it's like a campus of like 7,000 people. We got people from a bunch of states in the U.S. We got people from the Middle East. We got people coming from, I don't know, all different types of, I shouldn't say the Middle East, West Asia. We got people from all over the world, essentially. Which is odd to me, because every class I have, I feel like they were all from Louisiana. and maybe like no, it was like pretty much everyone I interacted with, like from my classes to the political groups I was in earlier this year. They're either from Louisiana, I think Mississippi, or East Texas. So pretty much just the surrounding areas. Not too diverse. I mean, I guess technically we're diverse because we got one Azerbaijani that goes here. But going back to my point, with that diversity brings many nodes of coronavirus back into the population. Whoa, big pan up there, way off screen. So yeah, like a local school that just has people from the neighborhood going to it would have, like, they could probably come back sooner because they know people in the area. Okay, everyone here has been quarantined within this part of the community. We should be good to come back if everyone wears a mask. Over the course of like the next 6 months, we should be done with this, you know. But since you have so many people come from so many different places, and even the people who are from Louisiana, they come from all different parts of Louisiana, all different parts of East Texas, all different parts of Mississippi. Like, it's not just like coming from New Orleans, not just coming from like Mid City or whatever. So it's gonna be a lot of people maybe carrying some stuff. And people our age aren't really like the most likely to be asymptomatic and still spread it to our older professors, you know. It just seems, I mean, I know everyone's gonna be here required to wear a mask, and apparently the rule is gonna be we have to Blizzard, that's good. We have to sit 6 feet apart from each other, which is ridiculous, you know. It's because you have a classroom with 20 people in it, maybe more, maybe less. But let's say 20 people, and solar beam, that's okay. Like, it's your average size classroom in terms of people and actual like space. I just feel like you don't have the room to sit 6 feet apart. But like, I feel like we're still gonna be pretty much elbow to fuck. Oh, I didn't switch it back. Okay, like, I don't know, pretty cramped together. And people, I don't trust this. But people just basically are saying if you have a mask on, it's good. And I don't know how true that is, but even, okay, assume that the mask is just this titanium layer of protection from like stuff coming out. Let's assume that, even though some masks are not the best, they're just good enough to like go get groceries with or whatever. Like, even with that, you still gonna have people like eating lunch. And I don't know how it's gonna work when we come back to school. Like, how is the cafeteria gonna work? How are the restaurants gonna work? How are the like people hanging out? How are the clubs gonna work? Are we just gonna constantly have masks on this whole time and just not eat in public anymore? Because during like the quarantine thus far and during summer, like, the people who live on campus, they just they just get a plate from the cafeteria and just eat it at home, which is fine. That keeps you protected somewhat, so you don't have to take your mask off. And of course, now that we have the key, we can challenge the gym, and yeah, we're gonna challenge the gym in this part. But anyways, yeah, just so many questions about safety come up, and the one thing was, when people are just hanging out, like right when they leave school with one of their friends, they're gonna take the mask off because they're gonna think their friends don't have it. And you know, one thing turns to another. You have people hanging out. Like, now that you could go to school together, you're gonna start hanging out outside of school together. And when you're hanging out outside of school, like, and not in a proper public place where they force you to have a mask, like y'all just hanging out, you're gonna take your mask off. You're gonna feel comfortable enough to take your mask off around your friends, and someone's going to give it to each other, and then it's gonna spread again. And I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. I have no clue if it's gonna be really bad or if it's going to be like somewhat contained because of the policies, but it just seems too idealistic to think that we can come back and not a single person get coronavirus over the next semester, because that's kind of your assumption, unless you're just okay with the amount of collateral damage. Oh sweet, earthquake, this is a big deal. 100 and 100. One shot. Get out of here. Grant has turned to a beast. So let me put a pause in that conversation. In this part, we're going to... Sorry, I haven't been on topic. We're going to beat all the gym trainers, but I'm not going to challenge the gym leader. I'm going to leave that for the next part. Because, I can't just put everything on the table. You gotta leave a little something for the next part. Let's see here. Let's use earthquake for the first time. But anyways, yeah. So hopefully that we don't have to find out that path of life. We don't have to go down that timeline. But it does suck to, like, if we do the right thing and stay and like do online classes for fall, it's like, another 4 or 5 months of staying inside. Like, man, I want to hang out with some people, man. I want to have sex again. Just want to bust, man. It's rough out here, but I don't know how I did very little research on coronavirus and all this. Like, I am not knowledgeable about how it's, like, I'm not really knowledgeable about really any aspect of how people are living during this, like, really what's going on. I don't know. I'm not speaking from, like, authority with any of these things. I just know pandemic, shit spreads, don't hang out with each other. Like, I know what the quarantine is. I know how, like, what people say they were supposed to do, but I don't know how everyone is enacting that in their everyday lives. And I really, like, didn't really make an effort to know what's really going on. Like, past that, like, how people are doing right now. Because I don't know how the rest of the ones is doing this. Like, whenever I go on a walk, or, like, go to Walgreens to get something, I see, like, a shit ton of cars sometimes. And, like, when the quarantine basically got lifted, technically, I think, like, the first week of May in New Orleans. And, it seemed that, I don't think there was, like, a big spike immediately. I think it's just, like, a steady increase, people getting it. So I think even though New Orleans got a shit ton of people got it in, like, the first 3 months, like, the first 2 months, like 30,000 cases, like 10%. Is that 10%? Yeah, about 10% of the population got coronavirus. It's pretty bad. And then they let people out in the first week of May, which ridiculous. But I guess people, when it starts off that bad, I guess it's easy to assume that you have nowhere to go but down with the cases. You have nowhere to go but up, I guess, in terms of metaphorically, but nowhere to go but down in terms of number of cases going forward. Which I don't think I subscribe to. I love 47 Torture, come on. You know you could do better. I'm just saying you could do better. Oh. Okay. You know why Blaine became a gym leader? That'd be interesting. Share the knowledge. I don't know, man. Oh, is this guy gonna have a combustion? Nice Train's gonna have a Blaziken? That'd be cool. Alright. I know I ramble a lot in these videos, but I assume people like it. I do get insecure about this, that's why I mention it so every so often. But I mean, this is kind of what the series is for. It's for my ramblings. Because what's everyone's favorite video? It's a guy playing a game talking about shit. Well, maybe not anymore. I think they might have been overtaken by something else. By a different genre YouTube video. Send the quill. So, didn't have a Blaziken. Is this guy playing with me? Why can't you have a stronger team? It's like, you know I need experience. And you're not giving it to me. Like, if this guy had him a Cargo and a Typhlosion like he should. Or Typhlosion, I think, technically. What is a Typhlosion? I think it's Typhlosion. So I remember I had a YouTube channel called Extreme Typhlosion. And I misspelled Typhlosion. So yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah. Anyways, I think yeah, this is the last trainer. So, you might be disappointed by the fact that I didn't answer any of the game show questions to pass through the walls. Because I never do. Like, why would I do that? This is, I mean, it's not good experience, but it's still experience. And it's certainly EVs. Like, most of these Pokemon are giving me special attack EVs. Special attack or attack EVs. I mean, some like Slugma, I'm pretty sure give me like special defense. Like all these EVs are pretty good for me. So, like Grant, the only EVs that he really don't need are speed EVs, but literally every type is beneficial. That's why I like Swampert so much. It's good at everything. And even though it goes second a lot of times. So anyways, I'm gonna go heal and wrap things up. Wow, that repel lasted for a while. Unless I use one in here and I didn't notice it. Because obviously when I'm talking, I focus 75% on talking and 25% on the game, and somehow still make progress. I don't know how. It really is a talent. Or a skill, I should say. And they say multitasking isn't a thing. I'm playing a game and talking at the same time. If that's not multitasking, I don't know what is. Anyways, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoy your company. Hope you enjoy mine. And the commentary that I had to spit to you today, even though it's not lighthearted as usual. Anyways, to wrap it up finally, thank you so much for watching. In the next part, we will fight Blaine to get our 7th gym badge, and we will do much more afterwards. So, until next time, see you later.